Hey, what's up guys, MGH here and welcome back to my Bournemouth Road to Glory career mode. Now today we're kicking off a progression episode, as I like to call them, against Bolton. Now, what is a progression episode? So most of you guys know, I tend to do a lot of live commentaries in my career modes, probably 85-90% of the time, but every now and again I upload a video which is post-commentary and I chuck tons of games and highlights into one episode, and it makes the series kind of go a little bit quicker through the boring parts. Not that it's, boring playing against some of the teams in the Championship, but when there's 6 games that don't really mean too much, it's good to get them out of the way and get progressive. We want to get through the season kind of quickly so we can get to the main games, and obviously the main target is to get to the Premier League. So this is one of those episodes. We started off brilliantly, a lovely goal from Grealish at the start there. He almost gets his second there, and now into the second half, getting a couple more chances here and there. Wilson, who isn't the strongest in the air, did okay there to jump up and get the header on target at least. And Davies very close there to volleying in an absolute beauty for Bolton. But this game was actually pretty goddamn boring. And I don't know what it is lately. I've been struggling with Wilson, but Grealish has been on fire. Here is another goal by him in this game, an absolute brilliant double. But the pass here from Sermon, who is starting to play a lot of these matches while Gosling is out injured. Grealish just seems to be playing really well. I cannot get Fraser into the squad, who is one of my favourite players. So that was an interesting game that we did actually win 2-0, but there wasn't too many chances. So I guess you could say that one we just move on from, and we'll go into the Charlton Athletic game. We got the 3 points before. Let's just get another 3 points, but this time let's try and get a good performance. And I tell you what, it didn't start off so well. Boric being called in there to make a vital save because it was surely going to be a goal after some terrible defending. And we go up the other end halfway through the first half here. Wilson makes a little bit of a mistake and Marty picks up the pieces. He smashes it and the rebound is there for Sermon to... I don't know, I wanted him to do some sort of bicycle kick and just smash it in, but unfortunately he went for a header and it wasn't a very good one. And then in the second half you can see Wilson just struggling again there. My finishing with him has not been on point recently, but luckily enough Richie was supporting him. He comes in and he does finish it off. So he gets lucky though. The first shot is just rebounded perfectly into his path there, and he's able to finish that one off nicely. So there you go, 1-0 into the last few 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so. We get Wilson on the ball after making a tackle, and this, I made sure I was going to finish this one. Just smashed it in the bottom left corner, and finally Wilson gets his goal. I mean, it's not like I'm not working hard with him. It's not like he's not getting chances. He just doesn't seem to be finishing them. But we'll get better with him, I'm sure, because we go through periods of scoring tons with him, and then maybe we'll have 1 or 2 games with, no goals from him. But maybe that goal there will kick us off, and we'll get a load of goals coming up in the next few games. But Richie, for me, man of the match in that game, came close with the free kick towards the end. But we do get some bad news. We've got a training injury to Harry Arter. He is out for 2 months. I mean, 8 weeks without one of your best midfielders absolutely sucks. And then to make things worse, Cook decides it's time for an upgrade on his contract. And I thought, you know what, he's my captain. He is my main defender. He is my captain, like I've just said. He's the most important player in this team. We need to make sure that he's happy. So we gave him his contract, and you'll see if he accepts that after this game against Millwall. Now, Wilson through on goal. I don't know why I didn't decide to shoot, but actually it worked out. I thought I was going to hammer that one in with Wilson. It probably wouldn't have gone in, to be honest. It was a little bit wide. And also his left foot not quite as strong as his right. But again, luckily we've just got support from some of my players there. And O'Kane, my defensive midfielder, was the guy in the right place at the right time, but luckily deflects off the defender and goes in. And I go for a little cheeky chip here. Wilson hasn't scored one of those in a while, and it goes over the bar there. Frustrated with himself. To be honest, I was frustrated with myself. I had such a good opportunity to score there. But look at that from Millwall. Terrible defending, and it's done. The captain, he gets sent off 30 minutes in. So now I knew if I score this, which I have done, it's 2-0, I can really go on and smash Millwall and completely obliterate them. So into the second half now, we're still 2-0 up. And obviously they are down to 10 men. They will be getting tired. We get Wilson in here, cut back here. Richie's in a great position, so similar to the first goal. But this time Richie puts it away. No deflections required. And this, I've got to be honest, guys, this is the favourite goal I've scored so far. You're probably thinking, what? Why? This is a very satisfying goal to me because I have passed it into the bottom left corner. And it's so close to being saved. It literally is centimetres away from his glove. And the animation that Richie has there when he bends it in is just such a cool goal, you know. Obviously, it's not so spectacular. We'll probably score some better looking goals. There's actually one coming up in this episode that you're probably going to like the look of. Richie there again, trying a chip shot instead of Wilson this time. Off target, what a surprise. But yeah, more goals coming up, obviously, and one of them is actually really, really good looking. But that game finishes 3-0. I was hoping for 4 or 5, but it doesn't matter in the end. 3 points is 3 points. And Steve Cook accepts the contract, so it's a little bit expensive. We've spent, I think, is it 4,000 more per week to keep him, but that's okay. But now we're going into an absolutely huge game against Watford, and we are 2 points clear at this point. And I tell you what, I was feeling confident. We played really well in the last 2 games. We got good results, and it was time to beat Watford. And I tell you what, as well, the team, it wasn't as strong as I was hoping. I had a few players that were tired, and mainly my midfield. I didn't have what's his name, Amati. Sorry, I always think of Arta. It's so similar. So Ødegaard came in. We have Cook and O'Kane. 3 players in the middle that aren't even 6 foot plus, and I was a little bit worried about that. Because Watford have a very physical team, and they're playing with 5 at the back, which makes things just completely worse. And I tell you what, we started off poorly here, but what can you do about that? That is one of the best finishes I've seen from the CPU in this career mode so far. Oh man, when this went in, I wasn't even upset. I was just like, wow, how has he managed to get the space to do that? And how is Boruc not even diving for this? He's got loads of time to react there, and he just turns towards it. Absolutely retarded goalkeeping. We try to get back in straight away here with Grealish with a long shot, which just goes wide. So yeah, so far not so good against Watford here. And I tell you what, they kept the pressure on me. They were piling on the pressure just before half time here. And my defence, as usual, was looking a little bit rocky. I just about get a toe in there from Francis, and we go in at half time just 1-0 down. And it could have been worse, to be honest. Watford were definitely the stronger team, and you can see from this bit of play here, defensively again, all over the place, and that was surely game over. With only 20 minutes to go, we needed 3 goals. It just wasn't happening in this game for me. But with Cook there, I kind of wanted to match the run of the striker, but I went the wrong way, and it's just as simple as that. 2 goals for him there, and 7th of the season. They almost make it 3 as well. Boruc with a good save, and then the last few minutes. In the last minute, I should say. Great tackle there from Mings to stop it from being 3. We clear it out, and that is it. So I think I made a mistake, guys. My lineup wasn't good enough. So amateur mistake from me there. I needed some more strength in there. But either way, Dan Gosling is now back from his 8-week injury. Sorry, no, he was out for 12 weeks, wasn't he? It was 3 months. So finally he's back. He's not featuring in this game, but he does feature in the last game of the episode. It's really good to have Gosling back. But this is the goal I'm talking about. Amati picks it up just outside the D there, and he serves the D. Look at this. Lovely curved shot into the top right corner. Well, actually, it dipped towards the end, so it's more in the middle. But I tell you what, not many keepers in the world are going to save that. The pace he got on the ball and the curve, the accuracy, it was just one of the best goals I've scored as well. And for a defensive midfielder, not too bad at all. But I tell you what, we got very lucky here. Wigan had the ball in the back of the net, but it was called offside. And I haven't got the replay in here because I accidentally skipped it, as you do. And it was miles offside. It just didn't look it when I was playing. And I'm sure if you go back, you'll probably agree with me. It looked kind of onside, but it definitely wasn't. They had a couple of chances in the second half to try and pull one back. But unfortunately for Wigan, they didn't have the firepower up front, and they were not able to get a goal. And we just held on for this 1-0 result. And I definitely needed those 3 points. After losing to Watford, my motivation was low, and I knew that they were probably going to win their, at least their remaining games at home, and the pressure was on to keep getting points. Once you lose to the top of the table and you drop down to second, you've got to make sure you repair that. You've got to get your points on the board. And I tell you what, we did it in the last game, and against Leeds in this last game, we're gonna really go for it. And we started off brilliantly. Stanislas was in for Richie, who was on international duty with Scotland again. And Stanislas was man of the match in this game. He did a great bit of skill for that goal. Lovely chipped pass for Wilson, who finished it very nicely indeed. And in the second half, because there was barely any chances up to this point, Ødegaard decided to take on the whole freaking team. And I tell you what, that is a special goal, and potentially could be one of the last goals he'll score for Bournemouth, because he will be going back to Real Madrid soon. But he just took on, I think, 4 or 5 players, just completely outdoing them technically and with pace as well, and got that second goal that we so needed. And then they get a little bit angry here against their, well, I want to say current teammate Cook, because he's just on loan. But he'll be going back, and I'm sure that Antonucci will have to say sorry to Cook when he goes back to the next season, unless I buy him back. But the game finished 2-0 there, guys. And Watford lost a game. I was so lucky and so grateful to see this. They lost their game after they beat us. So now we've got a 5-point gap, but they do have a game in hand. So it really is going to be a difficult finish here. If I win the remaining games, we win and we come first and we'll get promoted instantly. Oh, I hope I can do that. But guys, in the next episode, we have our trip to Wembley. We've got the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do drop a like rating and a comment, and I will see you later.